ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Musa alayhi salam carefully approaches this man who is sitting there by the seaside with his head covered and greets him with salam. The man responds by saying, Anna bi ardika salam. Who here knows how to say salam? Since when do people in this area start saying salam? So Musa alayhi salam understood that he knows that I am not from around here. I am not a local person. And I best introduce myself quickly. So he says, I am Musa. He said, oh, Musa from Bani Israel? He said, yes, that's the one. He says, what brings you here? Now, the Quran mentions Musa alayhi salam's request to this man whose name is Khadir, or Khidr also, he is called. Two ways of pronouncing the name. Hal attabi'uk? Can I be your follower? Can I follow you around? Ala an tu'allimani mimma 'ullimta rushda. So that you can teach me some of the good, some of the guidance that you have been taught. So now Khadir responds immediately by saying no. And he's not saying no as in I'm not going to allow it. He's saying you don't have what it takes to be my follower. إِنَّكَ لَن تَسْتَطِيعَ مَعِيَ صَبْرًا. You don't have the ability to be patient with me. Why was this? He wasn't putting Musa alayhi salam down. He was saying that you, first of all, have a certain type of knowledge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you need to uphold that knowledge. I have a different kind of knowledge. It's also from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You haven't been given that knowledge. And when you see me acting out in light of the knowledge Allah has given me, you're not going to understand it, you're going to challenge it, it's going to become a very painful process for you, a very difficult process for you. You won't be able to put up with it. You don't, and Musa alayhi salam also by nature was a person who was very straightforward. He never put up with anything. If there was something to be said, he would say it right away. And Khadir tells him that this is not the way that you will be able to work with me or learn from me. You will need a different kind of attitude. And I don't think it's in your capacity. وَكَيْفَ تَصْبِرْ عَلَى مَا لَمْ تُحِطْ بِهِ خُبْرًا. How can you be patient over something that you don't understand? So the Quran is teaching us, first, the etiquette of approaching the teacher. How, even though Musa alayhi salam was the Nabi and the Rasul of Allah, he was given a book, the Torah, he was given an entire nation to guide, and he was one of the highest ranking prophets of Allah of all time. Khadir is also a prophet, but he is not of the rank of Musa alayhi salam, but he knows some things that Musa alayhi salam doesn't know. So how Musa alayhi salam has to humble himself, lower himself, to be accepted as a student by someone who is in fact of a lesser status than him. And he says, no, Musa, you don't have what it takes. So Musa alayhi salam says, please at least give me a chance. Satajiduni insha'Allahu sabiran. No. You will find me patient. Give me a chance. وَلَا أَعْصِي لَكَ أَمْرًا. I won't go against anything that you tell me. Any rules that you lay down, I will follow them. I will not disobey any of your rules, any instructions. So he says, Now, Khadir is not interested in having him as a student, but when Musa alayhi salam continues to insist, he says, okay, look, I have one rule. And if you want to follow me around, you have to follow this one rule. And that is that don't ask me any questions. You will not ask me any questions about anything that I do unless and until I give you the explanation myself. حَتَّى أُحْدِثَ لَكَ مِنْهُ ذِكْرًا. If I give you the explanation, that's well and good. If I don't, too bad. And until I do, don't ask me anything. So this is the teacher laying down the rules for what the class is going to look like. The teacher is laying down the expectations. This is how I'm going to teach you if you want to learn from me. And Musa alayhi salam sure did want to learn from him, because he knew that would please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And of course it would give him access to knowledge that he didn't currently have. So he said, look, whatever conditions you place on me, I'm going to abide by those conditions. So we learn in just a few words of the Quran, what should be the approach of the student to the teacher. It's not an approach of entitlement. Come here and teach me something. I'm here to learn, teach me. No. Can I learn something from you? And when the teacher accepts the student, then it is on the teacher's terms. The teacher lays down the rules and the expectations that must be met by the student. If the student cannot, then they will not benefit from that teacher. And this opens up the chapter of rules, classroom norms, the way in which teaching and learning occurs, the etiquettes that must be adhered to, the etiquettes that must be used, the adab that must be used whenever there is an exchange of knowledge between teacher and student. There is so much to be learned here. But this story leads us into another chapter where Musa alayhi salam does become the student of Khadir for a little while, and they have a very interesting journey, and they explore many things. And that inshallah will continue in future sessions. But instead of going into the whole story, we're going to talk a little bit about the etiquettes of learning, inshallah, in the future sessions. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه.